he would have been in. Coco Gauff's former coach makes daunting Jannik Sinner confession amidst Indian Wells' unpredictability. The golden era of the Big Three saw three men making the finals consistently for over a decade. Just when we thought we would miss that dominance, Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz conquered the courts. At the start of 2025, if you were told the Indian Wells final would feature a 23-year-old and a 21-year-old, you'd probably bet on Sinner and Alcaraz. Instead, it's number 13 Holger Rune and number 14 Jack Draper battling for the title. While both are talented, few expected them to take center stage. Even Coco Gauff's ex-coach, Brad Gilbert, is weighing in on the reason for these new finalists. Jack Draper punched his ticket to the final after a wild 6-1, 0-6, 6-4 victory over Alcaraz. The Brit held his nerve in a match that had everything: momentum swings, intensity, and a shocking result. His win also put an end to Alcaraz's bid for a historic three-peat at Indian Wells. Meanwhile, Holger Rune overcame his own struggles to reach the final. After dealing with inconsistency, he snapped a 7-match losing streak in the semi-finals with a strong win over two-time Indian Wells runner-up Daniil Medvedev. The Dane's resurgence couldn't have come at a better time. As the unexpected final took shape, Gilbert took to and shared his thoughts. He wrote, "Biggest takeaway from IW on men's side. Way more opportunity for a final like we have today. With the absence of Sin City the way he has been playing the last 18 months, he would have been in the final today. Jannik Sinner's absence from the tournament has cast a long shadow over the men's game. The world number 1 is serving a 3-month suspension for doping violations in 2024, a shocking turn of events considering his dream season last year. The Italian tennis star finished with a 73-6 record, won the Australian Open and US Open, and ended the year with a staggering 5,000-point lead over Alcaraz. Despite that, the Spaniard had his moments against Sinner in 2024. He won all 3 of their head-to-head meetings, proving he can hit an even higher level than his Italian rival. But when it came to consistency, Sinner was on another level, collecting 8 titles to Alcaraz's 4. It looks like Carlos Alcaraz might also have to say goodbye to his chances of closing the gap with Jannik Sinner in terms of ranking. The world number 3 finds himself in a tricky situation. His loss at Indian Wells means he missed out on a golden chance to close the ranking gap with Sinner. If he wants to overtake the Italian, he needs to rack up 3,220 points in his next 4 events. That means winning 3 out of 4 tournaments and reaching at least one more final. Not an easy task. Alexander Zverev is in a similar spot. The world number 2 had a chance to gain ground but fell short. His second-round exit at Indian Wells against Alan Griekspoor cost him 650 points, making his path to the top even harder. He now needs to earn more than 2,400 points before the Rome Masters to stay in the race. Sinner has now spent 40 weeks as the ATP world number 1 and is set to climb higher on the all-time list. In the coming weeks, he will overtake Andy Murray, 41 weeks, and Gustavo Kuerten, 43 weeks, securing the 13th spot in history. The road ahead isn't getting any easier. Up next is the Miami Open, starting March 19th. Ironically, the reigning Miami champion is none other than Jannik Sinner, who will be missing in action. Can Alcaraz and Zverev take advantage, or will the shake-up continue?